This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, today in the arena. My first try in a while, although I do it every so often, of a daily historic video. Yes, we're going to historic, and we are going to play ARCLIGHT Phoenix, one of the most popular decks, one of the most decision-intensive decks, and I'm not going to say budget-friendly deck, but if you have the ARCLIGHT Phoenix already, because you played Magic a few years ago, then it's not the worst, because there are a good amount of commons and uncommons in this deck, which is not the case for a lot of decks in Historic. So, why are we doing a Historic video daily? If you missed the end of my video yesterday, it is mainly because I feel detached from each individual video when I'm making multiples. It becomes much closer to work than it's ever felt like before, where I'm just like, all right, I gotta do another one, and I gotta do another one, and I even forget which ones I do, and I try to schedule them, and I don't know when which one is going up. So it just felt very detached from both my videos and my audience. And here, in this case, I do want to play decks in Historic because I have a little gig coming up. I'm casting a Historic tournament, the Hooglandia Open, on Saturday, or Sunday? The 20-some... You know, I should get the date right. It's definitely this coming weekend. It's definitely this weekend, and I believe it's on Sunday, but I might be wrong about that. But I'm casting the historic tournament alongside Jeff Hoogland, and I need to know what's going on in the format if I'm going to talk about it intelligently, and I want to prime you, my audience, who might want to come out and check it out, for some of the decks you're likely to see. A deck that you're very likely to see is ARCLIGHT Phoenix. It's incredibly popular. It's decision intensive. It's a very interesting deck. The historic stars of the deck are the bird itself, its namesake, 3 and a red for a 3/2 flying haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have cast 3 or more instant and sorcery spells this turn, return ARCLIGHT Phoenix from the graveyard to the battlefield. When you combine that with some of the new cards from the Mystical Archive, then getting ARCLIGHT Phoenix back becomes a lot easier, Faithless Looting being a key one. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Flashback, 2 and a red. A very simple 1 red sorcery. This lets you drop ARCLIGHT Phoenix in the graveyard, draw more gas, and counts as a sorcery so that you can get your birds back sooner rather than later. Also great to play with the other bird in the deck, Stormwing Entity, and the other bird in the deck, Sprite Dragon. Like these are the core, getting in fast flying damage to end the game. I also have 1 young Pyromancer as another alternative threat. This little uncommon makes 1/1s for instants and sorceries that you cast, so you can imagine it can make a lot of creatures here, but I don't like it too much. It's a bit slow, you don't really want to play it in the mid game, and blocking isn't that big of a thing in Historic when they can just combo kill or do super powerful things that end the game on the spot. Another important instant card in Historic is Brainstorm. For 1 and a blue, draw 3, put 2 back. You saw this in the other Historic Jeskai video, and it's a good one. Without question, in this deck, it's not as likely that you get the sweet shuffle effect with your Brainstorm to get rid of those extra lands you don't need. So we compensate by running a really low land count. We have 2 Fabled Passage. We have 20 lands total, I believe, yes. And the 2 Fabled Passages can shuffle away your Brainstorm, but we don't want too many because we don't have enough basics, and you do need your colors right. So the dual lands play an important role here. I think that the split as they are right now is a good one. And then also we have Expressive Iteration, which can kind of help you clear your Brainstorm. But the best combination with Brainstorm is Stormwing Entity. You put 2 lands or 2 cards you don't want back on top of your library, then you scry them to the bottom. Hiya! Very nice little smooth combo. Even if you can't get rid of the cards you put on top, Brainstorm is still a great card in the deck for getting deeper, finding the birds, and having those turns where you get the birds back. Opt is also necessary in the deck for getting the birds back. It's a good one. I'm up to 2 Lightning Axe, 4 Pillar of Flame, and 4 Shock. 1 mana spells are important. Lightning Strike is too expensive. 1 mana spells, man. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor is another one I see. So for this deck, For Arclight Phoenix in Best of 1, I think you need to be able to turn onto the jets and kill the opponent as fast as possible. Best of 1 is much more combo-y. Best of 1 is much more all-out aggro-y. You know, there's Embercleaves and Elves. There's all kinds of things where you just need to kill them. So I have all 4 of the Shocks and Pillar of Flames, and I go to the face a lot. Now, I know that Lightning Strike, you're like, wait a minute, just run Lightning Strike instead. That's more damage. Again, you need 1 mana spells. 1 mana spells are what bring back the bird, grow the sprite dragon, etc. I mean, think about it. If you have a sprite dragon or a Stormwing entity out and you shock the opponent's face, it's like you cast Lightning Strike because you get another counter on your sprite dragon or another prowess hit on your entity. And you might say Lightning Strike does the same thing, but you might need the mana for other things. Trust me, 1 mana spells. Lightning Axe can discard your Arclight Phoenix, which is fun, and kill bigger things. And Finale of Promise gets them back out of the graveyard. Normally, in Best of 3, you're seeing decks move away from Graveyard Synergy because of all the Rest in Peace, Grafdigger's Cage, etc. Finale of Promise, you don't really want to run it in Best of 3, I don't think, but in Best of 1, where that kind of graveyard hate is rare, it's much more the exception than the rule, you can get away with focusing on the graveyard, and Finale of Promise is a wonderful way to do that. If you don't have the Mythics and don't want to craft this one, I don't blame you. A good uncommon substitute is Crackling Drake to add another creature to the deck that can attack the opponent and end the game. The mana base has a few historic lands, but you're going to want them. The dual lands are very, very useful in historic, so if you get into the format, you won't feel bad about owning some of these. Today's video is dedicated to Joshua Heath. Thank you very much for hitting the join button below and becoming a member of the Cool Kids Club. You get access to deck lists a day before the video comes out. You also get access to my stream VODs posted on YouTube, 2x speed, no ads. Pretty awesome way to keep up with the live content for the channel. And you might get a video and a cosmetic dedicated to you, and that's what we're doing right here, right now. Joshua is the lucky one getting the cosmetic. And which cosmetic shall it be? I have resist. You know what? I'm in historic. I'm gonna get Steam Vents. I need to start getting these shock lands because I need good looking mana base if I'm gonna be representing historic. And there you go. So my first historic shock land cosmetic. Now let's dive in. Let the Arclight nonsense begin. A Fabs 1432. We can't lose. They were born in the 90s. All right, let's go. Brainstorm, Fabled Passage. The strategic planning and expressive iteration being both 2-drops is pretty awkward. We have an Arclight, but no way to discard it. So this is going to be a funky game. Let's keep, and I think we try to save the Brainstorm. So I think it's a turn 2 strategic planning. Turn 3, we might Brainstorm or we might iteration. Turn 4, Passage Brainstorm would be ideal. These decks are pretty hard to sequence and figure out when you want to play what. Because you want the Arclight Phoenix on turn 3, you want the Brainstorm to do this. All right, well, we're up against Elves. So we're going to need to remove stuff at a pretty fast pace. All right, that's an interesting one. And having it early is also, I would say, very interesting. So playing this on 2 seems to make a lot more sense. We're on a pretty slow draw, all things considered. But maybe turn 4, if we drop off Phoenix, find another Phoenix, pump the Sprite Dragon, we can get there before the Elf deck can go off completely. They've got the turn 2 War Master. They're on a really good curve as well. Young Pyromancer. That can really help against Elves, but I don't have time to get it down. If it's the only thing I do this turn, I don't think that's going to be good enough, and it won't be fast enough. I think I'm looking at iteration, actually. It's that or strategic planning. Both are options. Maybe iteration is best for the turn of the Arclight. So let's go for planning. We're looking for a land. We don't get one. Yuck. Let's take the shock. Now we have to play the tapped Fabled Passage, which is really bad. All right. And then next turn, I guess we have to find a land with this Brainstorm or with this Expressive Iteration. Both go 3 deep. One is cheaper than the other. All right, that's not an anthem or a lord. Lord is the right term for the creatures that pump all the other creatures of the same type. And the opponent's coming at us. All right, let's save the Fabled Passage, I believe. I could get really burned, actually, for saving this. I could get really burned if I don't find a land. Well, we don't have a Phoenix in the graveyard anyway. Oh man, this is tough. All right, I'm gonna find a land. I'm gonna find a land. I'm going to find a freaking land. Let's go. Yep. All right, that is getting scary. Okay. We also have an axe to discard the Phoenix, so we can get that back this turn. I love the shocks. Maybe the other brainstorm actually should go. Or maybe it's just the iteration, which was going to be a way that I fill out my turn. Yeah, we'll just put the iteration back. Oh, play this first. Oh my gosh. CGB, don't do it. Don't crack the passage before you play the land. Only pain will come to you this way. All right, there we go. All right, who gets lightning axed? The shepherd has this mana ability, but they are quite a ways from making it happen. Discard a card. Let's go ahead and kill off the War Master. Drop you. Pump. We could try to brainstorm again. If we hit another Phoenix and a looting, that would be really awesome. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, not great, but all the shocks are just going to try to get us over the finish line. An Anthem or a Lord won't kill us. They don't have the mana for the Crater Hoof, so let's try to end the game. Down to 6. Now if they get one reach blocker that we can't shock our way through for some reason, that won't stop us. Growing Rites of Itlamok. Look at top 4, reveal a creature card, then this transforms. All right, there's a Lord. They're gonna come up short here. This transforms though, so they'll have access to mana, right? Flips it. All right, it makes 5 mana, but they're Elves. They don't have any way to kill anything. This deck makes me feel like a giraffe trying to learn how to walk, a baby giraffe or a baby deer on ice, you know? Just like he's sliding this way and that way. He doesn't quite know what he's doing, but he's gonna get there, man. He's gonna get there. 95% gamer. Let's see what you got today. And we've got 2 Sprite Dragons, a Shock, a Lightning Axe, Expressive Iteration. Seems pretty good. It's on the draw. That's pretty bad, but we do what we can. Soul Warden to start the party. Well, gonna shock these cards, but let's see what the opponent puts on the stack. If it's an Ajani's Primate, we'll want to kill that instead. Youthful Valkyrie, can't shock that, so guess we shock you. That's gonna be a headache. So this is the Life Gain Angels deck, and it's very, very good at getting a lot of very large flyers on the field, so it's probably a very bad matchup for us. Straight to a Skyclave Apparition. Ouch. All right. Well, we've got another dragon, and we need to get it down so that it can start growing and become more of a threat. So we'll play that here. I don't know why I didn't attack there. I think I forgot this was tapped. Abzan. What are... Oh, they run black for veto. Not kidding. Actual veto. All right, so there's a land off the top. We need to clear up some of this stuff, and we have a few ways to do it. We could go for a Faithless Looting, but I think just using the spells to kill the 2/2s while we can is a good play. Should probably attack first and see what the opponent does. Let's use this Pillar of Flame, get rid of the Skyclave Apparition, get a 2/2. Attack with the dragon. See if the opponent will try to trade. If they do, we can cast a spell to blow up the trade and get a little more value. Okay, hit. Do we want to Lightning Axe the Valkyrie is what the reason I didn't play the shock right there. I think we say go and see what the opponent does. A lot of land so far. Soul Warden. Okay. Soul Warden's obnoxious. Another Angel. So that will make this a 3/5. This will gain, what, 3 life? 3 life for a creature. Yeah, those are going to get out of hand. Let's go ahead and kill this Angel now. This will be a 3/5. Hopefully I draw an ARCLIGHT, something to use with the axe. All right, down to 10. Another iteration. Probably discarding an iteration. Let's go for this iteration and see what we reveal. No land. The Stormwing we can't cast. We could put it into our hand, though. So I guess that's probably the play. And we're going to cast this shock, I think. And that means if the Youthful Valkyrie gets any bigger, we're in trouble. But, well, I guess we have a 5/5. So you to hand, you to deck, and you to exile. Let's offer trades, I suppose. We are at 10. Maybe we have to hold this back. Time to play some defense. Kill it. And force them to top deck good cards. They are on empty. They did draw 5 lands. The 6th land is ideal. That works for me. All right. We should kill this while we can. It's really tempting to play an iteration, but I think I'll discard the land and play a Stormwing entity instead. When I do that, it's going to gain a life. But doing this now lets us attack with the 2/2. And I guess we can play the Stormwing post-combat in case they do chump with the Soul Warden, which I doubt. Down to 10. All right, Collected Company is the card they could top deck that really sets their deck off the rails, makes it go absolutely crazy. Do I keep these? Right now, I don't have any more answers to their creatures, so I'm going to move these to the bottom. It's not enough just to make more creatures when they could make some very large flyers. The 4th Godless Shrine. Well, every now and then the opponent feels the wrath of the Shuffler is fine. Every now and then it gets there. As we shock our way to victory. Void. We're fighting Void. Let's rumble. On the draw. Our removal / discardy thing, along with Faithless Looting, Planning, Brainstorm. It's a good ARCLIGHT hand. I'm worried it might be slow. But the Lightning Axe gives me hope. I just hope I don't have to axe like something that I could shock. I wonder if we're looting on 1 here. Let's see what we draw. Nice Secret Lair sleeves. The metal ones. What does a metal gamer play? Thoughtseize. Yes, of course. So what does Thoughtseize take from this hand? Looting and Brainstorm stand out to me. Takes the axe. All right, leaves me without removal. I suppose that could be a problem. A second Brainstorm means let's plan to have a Brainstorm and try to kill the Arcanist or whatever the opponent is going to play here. Yep. Yep. And do we find a way to kill it? Absolutely not. But we get to Faithless Looting these ARCLIGHT Phenai, if that's what you want to call it. So if the opponent takes the looting, that's pretty bad, so we probably want to get these into the graveyard right now. There's a Sprite Dragon. So 2 birds down, and then we need to find land. So we're going to get Thoughtseized again, but the opponent's life is going to be pretty low. They're going to get free spells from this Arcanist pretty much every turn, so I don't know if we can win, but we have to try to race. We have to get damage going. Yeah, Young Pyromancer, that's pretty good. Inquisition, that's pretty good. Let's see what you take. We definitely have to find a land. We can't triple spell next turn without one. Takes the Sprite Dragon. Okay. So, I need to locate a land. Let's cast the... Well, is it the Opt or the Brainstorm? Opt plus Brainstorm gets us deeper. This is going to take probably a Brainstorm. I could try to hide them, and if there's land in the top 3, I'm safe. There's got to be a land, right? Okay, excellent. So, let's hide you, and let's hide you and let the opponent take this Brainstorm. I mean, the Brainstorm's a better card, right? Yeah. We have to draw this, then we draw this. Okay. And then we have to draw another 1-drop. So they should take the Opt, but maybe they'll take the Planning. Maybe the right play there was to play nothing to make sure that we had the 3 spells. Actually, yeah. Maybe I'm not supposed to cast anything in that spot. Yep, take the Opt. Good choice. All right. Brainstorm. We need another 1-mana spell. We don't get it. Why am I not surprised? They have another Thoughtseize. We're going to probably play this Pyromancer, and it's going to be slow. Let's go ahead and hide these cards. Gotta pay... I think we need the vents online here. So the Arcanist has ripped my hand apart. Let's see if they bring back the Thoughtseize here, probably. Well, they'll also see if they have any removal. The birds are about to come out. Their life total's low. Their life total's quite low. That's the bright side. So, like, 2 attacks, we should be able to get there. And if our Pyromancer lives, we can generate a lot of creatures. I guess we take the looting to try to get to 3 spells. We've got to get to 3 spells here. Failing would be bad. Yes. Okay. We've got... You're telling me there's a chance, game. All right. I'm just headed upstairs. We've got to close this game. Bang, bang, bang. Now you're at 3. Your Death Shadow looks really good, though. That'll do. That will do it. It looks so bad for so long and then pulled it together. Top 500. Time to battle a frog. On the play. Love it. Let's go. Let's do this. Are we a Brainstormer or are we a Looter? Or are we none of the above? Do we just chill? See what the opponent does? I think wait and see is actually the right play. We just play the Canal and say go. Wait and see. Timing is everything. Our opponent taking a very long look at their opener, and now the rope has come out for their mulligan phase. Might be a tough hand. And we are off. It's Gruul! Cool. Pillar will happen. Or shock. Alright, so next turn we want to Brainstorm and Looting to try to bring this back. That requires a blue and a red for sure. And we have a lot of red cards here, so let's play this on double red. Let's Pillar the Pelt Collector. And now we have shock available if we want to do that on their turn when they cast 4 Burning Tree Emissaries. Voltaic Brawler's not bad either. Alright, so let's save the shock. Let's do it on our turn, because hopefully we can also find a land. Bingo. Alright, so we're going to discard the Phoenix, so we should start with a Looting, and then we're going to play 2 spells. I guess we start with a Brainstorm then. The Brainstorm goes deeper after the Looting, though. Alright, let's start with the Looting, because we know we're going to do that. But Brainstorm gives us the best chance to get another ARCLIGHT. Okay, we Brainstorm first. Man, those things make my head hurt. What are we going to discard to the Looting? We're definitely going to discard this Phoenix. Do we discard this Sprite Dragon, because now it's a little bit behind? Do we discard this Iteration? I think Iteration is our best chance of hitting another land. Alright. Let's put you, and you, and you, and you guys to the graveyard. Play you, Pillar of Flame, because it's not an instant, it's a sorcery. Get it cast, get back Birdo. Cacaw, let's go. Take 3. Definitely trying to save the finale. You can bring the birds back right away and get a ton of value. The opponent goes to the Spellbreaker and gets busy. Finale's an interesting one here, as we could just bring back a lot of shocks and things like that. I think it's actually that we play the Iteration, though. All right, there's another Finale and another Iteration. That's a little bit awkward. We get sort of a free land here if we want. I guess we just want to Finale our way through the rest of the game. So this will go hand. We don't have time for another Iteration. This goes here as blue. All right, race the Gruul deck. Race mode engaged. So we can deal 2, although we can't go face right now because of the hexproof. We knock our opponent to 10. Then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's gonna get scary, I think. The opponent might have a Questing Beast here. We might have to use Finale to... Oh! Okay. Is Chandra. What's Chandra do? Makes mana. And Bone Crush the Phoenix. Interesting line to deny our opponent the Giant. We could shock our own Phoenix. We go down a resource and they don't have a Giant to play later. But I don't think the game's going to go that long. So I think we just take this. I think the opponent's going to die before that becomes a thing. All right. We could get an Iteration here. Or we could just get 2 Pillars of Flame. And just faces the place. You may cast up to 1 instant and 1 sorcery with mana value X. So we can't get 2 Pillars of Flame. One has to be an instant, one has to be a sorcery. So we should shock first. If the opponent Embercleaves next turn, am I dead? No. 8, then 1, 2. All right, shock you. Finale. Nope, cancel. Finale. Let's try that again. Shock. Pillar. Pay. Pillar your face. Shock your face. Bang. Bang. Birdo. Get him. Bang. Let's see how much damage the Gruul deck can pull out here. If they kill the ARCLIGHT again, the Finale brings it back. If they somehow find a way to block or exile the ARCLIGHT, we only have 2 damage in the graveyard, not 3, and it's much scarier, and I wish I'd kept the Sprite Dragon. I think that was a mistake. Alright, they kill the bird with the Chandra, so it's in the graveyard. Hell Collector. Bone Crusher Giant. Hit. And Brainstorm is there, and Iteration is there. And I just chose the things that let me make the most stupid decisions while I dirtle, because that always makes opponents happy. They get the message. They never let you play out the toys. We can just scoop now. Vin86. People from the 80s are true test. Don't at me. True test of skill. Other boomers who know the ways of the boomer brain. All right, let's keep this. Llanowar Elves. All right, well, you know what they say about bolting the bird, or at least they did back in Vin's day. You do it. You kill the little mana generator on site. All right, Elves, Elves, Elves. Do we have to kill this? It's not the nastiest clock. I don't feel like I have to kill it. We're not going to play Iteration this turn. Brainstorm is like half good with Opt. Let's try. We still need to find a lot of things. No land. That's rough. What goes back? I mean, one of Iteration or Planning I'm sure goes back. Maybe one of the Brainstorms goes back. But we're actually going to scry one to the bottom and draw the other anyway. There's the Archdruid, so we want to kill that. But we don't want to kill it now, because we need to opt. And put this on the bottom. And there's a shock. So do we go for the land? It could be a huge mistake. So I'm going to go for the Brainstorm instead. If we find the land that way, it's way better. All right, back on top. Can't cast either of these this turn anyway. Probably going to draw into them no matter what. I guess Passage does shuffle away, doesn't it? So what do we not want? I don't feel like I have a lot of time for the Iteration. I don't feel like we have time for the Pyromancer. I almost never feel like we have time for the Pyromancer, but against Elves it could be really good. They're probably likely to have a lot of Lords. I'd rather just keep the removal spells. Pillar that. Let's just shuffle up. The courtesy pass to the opponent. Women's Elite. All right, the creatures are coming, but we're playing the sort of oddball ARCLIGHT control strategy here. Let's dig for another ARCLIGHT Phoenix, which would be wonderful. We find some lands and a Stormwing Entity. We would play the Entity this turn and scry these lands away. But then we don't get back our bird, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. This is a pretty big creature. Defends the yard very well. That's only one spell though, so casting the spells doesn't do us any good. All right, opponent plays the Archdruid and sends the attacker. So let's make them very sad. Or we could wait till next turn and get a bird, but at this point I think that's overkill. I think that if you keep the elf deck without elves, they'll be very unhappy and they might just resign for it. Yeah, now we draw the Pyromancer. We could try to set up to get back a bird, but I think we just play the Pyromancer here and make the 1/1s and use those to wreck the opponent. We'll attack here, hold up the Lightning Axe, Arclight, make a creature. Yep, because they play Clan Caller. You just always have to expect that they'll have more Elvish Lords and that they'll send attackers, and then you get to make plays like this. And if they don't have Lords and they don't have Elves, like I said, I don't think they can win from that. All right, let's see what we dredge up with the looting here. Pillar of Flame and another looting. But We have to discard these if we want the chance to hit another 1-drop here. Although if we do this, we just get nothing, right? That's how that works. I have to wait till next turn. All right. Getting back the birds is complicated. We gotta wait. We gotta wait. Casting it from graveyard is not really being up a card, and casting it from hand is actually being down a card. So there's more Dwynens. Opponent has rebuilt the battlefield. That's a good draw. We're going to rebuild our hand and our velocity. So this can go to hand. This can go to deck. This can go to exile. Play this, see another couple cards. Drop those off. Shock. Shock the Shepherd because they're getting close to the mana where they could activate it. Bird. Attack. And unless they can really ninja a kill out of nowhere, we have contained the Elf Menace, the War Master, and a Clan Caller. Yep, I mean, they never stop coming. But they will not prevail. Not today. Chump block away. Murder with the Flyers. The bird life triumphs over the foolish else on the ground. 437. All right. Top 500. Let's go. 313, 437. It's a showdown. And we've got Sprite Dragon. We've got a Brainstorm that we can pair with a Fabled Passage or a Stormwing Entity. And we got an Arclight Phoenix. So this hand, I think, is good. I'm kind of not sure when this Brainstorm happens. I might just Passage right now and play turn 2 Sprite Dragon, then go for the turn 3 Stormwing Entity. I think that's right. Here we go again. These elves, man, they're everywhere. All right, what do we want? Red? Red or blue? I guess double blue for Stormwing Brainstorm. Lock it in. So, I'm supposed to pillar this, but I want to get down my Sprite Dragon, start the clock. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? I think we just try to kill him on the play. This can be face damage. And if they're going to use those elves to cast a creature, all right. It's all elves all the way. All right. I think we get out the entity and race, but this is so strong. Oh, wait, we can do both. Sometimes I get tunnel vision on the Brainstorm entity line because it's so appealing, but we can just do this play, which is awesome. All right. Do we need a 4th land? Don't think so. I think if we just draw all these 1-drops, we're good. Oh, wait, we have to cast the Arclight Phoenix. Let's just keep these. Right now, we have to cast Arclight Phoenix. We can't discard it. Collected Company in the house. No interaction, but there is a Pillar of Flame right there. I guess we can force them to cast the Company early. If we play this, go for 8. Yeah, our objective here should be not to die. Also might just kill the opponent. 17's a lot. Is it undoable, though? So we play you 1, 2, 6. 6 plus 5, 11, 12, 13. Not lethal. Not lethal, just really freaking close. They're going to cast the Coco. They're going to do it at instant speed, so the pillar on them, on their elf here, doesn't mean much, but it might mean enough for, like, the extra lethal damage. So, we go for this. We go for this. Like, what if they just somehow are able to make this elf lethal? And here we also get to see what their Coco hits and whether or not to hold a blocker. Alright, Archdruid, Dwynen's Elite. So they can make a ton of mana. Is it enough to, like, finale me? I don't think so. Let's see, this taps for each elf you control, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough to, like, finale into a Crater Hoof. So let's just try to kill them. Can you kill me 20 to 6 if you untap with your Archdruid? Llanowar Visionary. Allosaurus Shepherd. So Archdruid now taps for the 6, which can pump. It gives them base power toughness 5/5. Now they're holding back the Archdruid. I have some kind of surprise for me here. Another Coco, I'm guessing. Does this give reach? No? What am I missing? Well, I'll just try to do as much damage to them in the air as I can possibly do with the cards that I know about. Revenge of the Birds, let's go. We got Hitchcock in the house. Another Coco. What's it do? What does it do? The Elvish pop off. Another Lord, but nothing flies. You must die now. I gotta say, there's a lot more elves in Mythic Historic than I ever would have guessed. And in the elf meta, this birds deck might be the king. Like, you just shock all their elves and you're fine. Oh, the one lander. The test of faith. Let's try it. Let's go. Why not? Why not? So we'll lead with the opt and try to pair the brainstorm with the entity in the future. Wind Rabba. Okay, I want to exile that with the pillar. Nope. Dig, dig, dig. Dig, dig, dig. Deck, don't do me dirty. Deck. All right. High risk brainstorm here. But if there's no land in the top 3, we weren't going to get there anyway. Nice. Very, very nice. Awesome. On the bright side, the opponent's going to help move some cards out of the way here with this Windrobber. Or are they? Maybe they don't even attack with it knowing I'm brainstorm locked without land. Oh, they're going in. Nice. Get sick of rogues in standard? Come to historic. We have rogues too. That's not good. But we can drop this ARCLIGHT Phoenix in the graveyard. What else can we do? Is the iteration just too expensive and we shouldn't keep it? Probably. Although it is another way to dig deeper. Maybe the looting, because it has flashback, is a good choice. Yay for the tapped land. The only one. Well, I guess the check land would have been tapped too, because we don't have an island. Uh-huh. Not much I can do. Getting ripped to shreds so far. But you can't take my Stormwing entity. It's too expensive. Eight cards in the graveyard already. Man, when I'm helping rogues out, they don't have many problems, do they? No, there was a land on top. That was going to be epic. Oh no, not another land. Please stop. You're starting to hurt my feelings. Pillar of Flame. Let's just not play anymore. Okay. Yeah, on the play we can try this hand. Sprite Dragon into Iteration can be really good. Possibly an entity. Uh-oh. That's 3 mulligans already. Yes! Tybalt's Trickery, gamers. Got him. Nice mythic gameplay there. Alright, we lost to the one-lander. We defeated the turn 0 kill of Triple Mulligan into Concession, and now we're on the play with a, I guess, reasonable hand. Say go. Decide whether or not we want to brainstorm planning or opt. Probably opt. Island go. Island staring match. I'll go with the opt. The island means they might have a mystical dispute. Brainstorm's a higher priority target. And another land is unnecessary. Thank you, deck. Let's play Pyro. Young Peasy. Would you like to take that action you've been holding? There you go. All that time just to opt. I did the same thing. All right, do you kill it? Man, Magic is just nuts and bolts sometimes. That's not bad. So, let's opt again, shall we? Get an extra point of damage out of our little dragon. Nice. Could definitely be an ARCLIGHT mirror, in which case the person with the birds usually wins. Right now, 0 birds on either side, but that could change in a moment. Expressive iteration. Well, I like being the one able to get the creatures down and get them attacking while the opponent is trying to put together their hand. But all they need is like a shock here. So if they play this Canal and another shock, I'll be very sad. They don't need too much. And you know how many shocks I run in the deck. Wow. So maybe that's a lightning axe, because if they had a shock, they'd just play it while I was tapped out. Or they don't have anything at all. Let's keep trying to press the advantage. Yeah, I took the fact that they didn't do anything to the to that Drake to this dragon as a sign that they didn't have anything at all. Kind of glad I made that play. So we don't want the island, but the Faithless Looting can be cast from the graveyard and the shock can be cast from the hand. So I'm going to take the shock and leave the looting in the graveyard. And here we go. And it is a lightning axe, but they discard a good card in strategic planning. Well, maybe not a good card, but a good enough card in the mirror for sure in strategic planning. So they didn't drop off a bird. They didn't drop off an extra land. Not discarding a land means their hand is probably all spells. I think that means we're in a lot of trouble. All right, land Arcanist. Oh, okay, they've got some critters of their own. By all means, let's fight. Let's start with a brainstorm. See how much damage we can do with a Sprite Dragon here. Double shock for the Arcanist seems really good. Let's put these back. Let's not give them any free spells, and being ahead with 2 Sprite Dragons to their 1/1 dragon, I think means that we're good in this situation. But we're going to have to keep the gas going. We know we have expressive iteration into a Faithless Looting on top, though, so when we know that we can. Crackling Drake. Okay, they play like the bigger birds. They are the bigger birdie deck. But we also make some big birds. So which of these are we not keeping? Probably the Faithless Looting. Let's put this into hand so they don't see it. Let's put this into the deck. Let's put this into the exile zone. Let's cast the opt. We're getting really close to being able to win here, but we draw another land. So if we shock this, the opponent has to chump the 8/8, which is awesome. And let's hold this to discard to looting if there's another turn. And the opponent knows that that chump block is basically the end. We got him. We got him, champs. Unless they... I don't know what. In Historic, I'm just always expecting to get killed out of nowhere. So, ARCLIGHT Phoenix Mirror, 0 ARCLIGHT Phoenix. Unless you can bring one back right here. There's Expressive Iteration, there's Brainstorm, there's Scoop. Alright, nice. Well, at least neither of us got birds. Gonna see if we can sneak into or near top 200 here. We're up against NetDeck Master, who is playing Jeskai Control. I know that from playing earlier when NetDeck Master had a turn 2 Rest in Peace on the play against me. We'll see if NetDeck Master, being the master of NetDecks, can pull that off again. Let's keep. So what's the sequencing look like? I think I'm like turn 2 Young Pyromancer, turn 3 try to get back Bird or play Sprite Dragon. Sprite Dragon's also really good to pressure a Narset when one shows up. But I'm not opting on turn 1. I want to save the spells. Here's Young Peasy. Brainstorm. Just straight up 10 card hands are nice. Like just get, even if it's just like a scry, even when you know what the top 2 cards are this early in the game, make sure that you curve out so well. There's the Helix. Probably going to be plenty of those going around. So what's the play? Do we slam a Sprite Dragon or do we try to hit a land drop here? This is definitely an iteration that could whiff completely. We could also just try to get a bird back. I think that's probably the play. So if we're going to do that, we want to hit another land. So, perfect. We dig first. We loot second. Oh, ho, 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 ho. What? What? The deck wants revenge on the NetDeck Master, baby. Revenge. Let's high roll. Let's go. Go ahead. Play your Rest in Peace. Probably another copy of Lightning Helix. Killing our own creature in response could be nice. Or we could just go in for the Sprite Dragon, but then we might get Wrath. But if we get Wrathed, we just kind of pop off, don't we? I think it's... So we want to make sure we can get the birds back. Maybe I just loot now. Yeah, if I loot now and discard a Phoenix, that's pretty good. Let's attack first. Prismari Command, okay. Opponent makes treasure, gets some discard, take 3. Alright, do I want to expose this to a Rest in Peace? I guess it doesn't matter, right? If they hit the Rest in Peace, then they're not dealing with the board, probably. Iteration, you're going. You're going. I got all this burn to go to face. Ah, ha, ha, no Rest in Peace this time. Ha, hard mode. Hard mode. That's what it is. 202, right on the edge. And we are back for the post-game wrap. And let's check the stats powered by MTG Assistant. Download link in the description. 9-2. Well, let's say in 10 games. It must be talking about ladder. 9-2, 81% win rate. We brought it today. Now, but I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain because when I first started playing the deck last week, I was doing it. I was going to make a video with it, and I'm going to tell you honest. I was on the play 5 out of 6 games, and I went 1-5. Like, I just came up short in every single game, and watching them back, watching those videos I made back, I was like, I played this terribly. And I didn't make all good decisions today. I made a few mistakes today, but this is an insanely hard deck to play. So if you struggle with it at first, this is a challenge to accept, and you should know that going in. And it took me a session of just getting absolutely demolished, and then coming back, trying to learn from it, actually watching my games, identifying mistakes, coming back, and then playing again and having a much better day. I think the 3 matches with Elves really helped. That matchup with all the shocks and pillars of flame, you're able to play a control role and then also beat them down in the air while doing it. You're like playing control and aggro at the same time. This is one of those few mid-range decks in Historic that can actually work, that can do both, as long as your shocks hit good targets. And against Elves, they definitely do. So I think that really helped. But the other matches were really interesting as well. And I'm pretty happy overall with the play. I think I could have done slightly better, but I think for the most part, this is a good video to show you what to expect as you get into the deck and some good plays and good lines that you should watch for. And the stats say it all. It's a powerful deck, but it needs to be wielded by a master. You got to be willing to put in the work. Any changes I would make, like I said, for best of 3, you probably don't want Finale in your deck because the opponent's going to bring in Rest in Peace and Soul God Lantern and Grafdigger's Cage, and they're going to destroy you with them. So Graveyard Synergy is not good, but Crackling Drake and its kind of graveyard proofness, because it counts cards in exile, is a lot better, so I would consider running Crackling Drake instead. I also wouldn't blame you if you cut the Young Pyromancer or moved it to the sideboard and instead ran a Stormwing Entity. I also wasn't super impressed with strategic planning. Every time I had a hand that had both expressive iteration and strategic planning, I was very disappointed in the card. So maybe a Blitz of the Thunder Raptor, just something to kill a larger creature or a Narset, might go in its place. Those are the things I'd try with the deck, but it's a very powerful deck, and if you get into Historic, it can be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to hit like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of a daily Historic video. If you really enjoyed it, then please make sure to share it and watch till the end, because watching the content is what I use as the metric of what kind of content I should make in the future. And as always, I will see you in the next video. You're cool.